Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. For today's video, we are talking about the winners and the losers of the 2018 NBA trade deadline. So these are 7 teams out there that were either highly involved in the trade deadline or a few teams that just were not involved enough. Because sometimes, you know, an NBA GM or owner, they will overvalue a player and want a lot more back for them than teams are willing to give. A lot of times, you know, people don't take like trade leverage into consideration and things like that. So in a lot of these cases, man, just like a trade did not happen whatsoever and really should have, and then the team ends up getting nothing for them. There's definitely a few cases on that on here, but here we go, guys. We got some winners and some losers, starting with a winner out here, the Chicago Bulls. And the reason this team is a winner is because this team is bad. Yes, they did exactly what they need to do out there, guys. They traded away Nikola Mirotic, as we all know, to the Pelicans. They were able to get a top 5 protected draft pick. They traded away, you know, actually, they just waived Tony Allen because Tony Allen would have actually been a decent player for this team, I think. But yeah, so they waived him. They got rid of some other guys out there too. But basically, this team is just really bad, which is exactly what they need to be, because they are going to get a top draft pick now. When they have Mirotic on this team, it seems like he was actually like balling out like crazy, and as a result, this team was winning games. This is a team that does not want to win games right now. Basically what this does is this allows for the rest of this season for the team to just lose out, which is what they want to do, but also at the same time, you know, develop players like Chris Dunn out there, Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen. You know, their young squad out there is going to get a ton of minutes, and the minutes are not going to be eaten up by like veteran players. They don't have to worry about winning games, making the playoffs. So this team did exactly what they needed to do during the trade deadline, and that was get a top 5 protected draft pick. You know, really like the only somewhat of this trade deadline for them was getting Omar Ashik, who is on a 2-year deal. Now for the 2020 season, he actually does have a $3 million buyout option. So that works out nicely right there. Who knows, maybe he'll be something on this team. Not that really, you know, like $10 million a season isn't really that expensive anyway, not like that big a deal. Also, they acquired Noah Vonleh, who was picked number 9 in the 2014 NBA draft. You know, on Charlotte and Portland, not really much of a great player, but who knows? He's still only 22. He might come on this team and do some things out there. So I think the Bulls definitely did a good job out there, and they also got themselves a nice young player that will also get some minutes out there. Who knows what he can become? Good job, Chicago Bulls. The next team we have is the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I will say I did run a poll on this on my Twitter account at CrispyFlakes2K, asking people if this Cleveland Cavaliers team is better after all of these trades. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are a winner, and actually 60% of people agreed with me on that, while 40% said this team is actually worse now. I don't know, man. What I do know is that the team is currently 3rd place. They were losing a lot of games, and LeBron James was not happy. So what they do, they completely cleaned house on this team right here and just have a whole new squad out there. I mean, yes, you look at the talent on the roster where it's like, outside of Kevin Love and LeBron James, there really isn't like another all-star caliber player on this team. I do think Rodney Hood could definitely be something special out there as a 3rd option, not to mention he's going to have a lot of pressure taken off him. He's a 6'8" dude from Duke, you know, age 25, averaging 17 points per game, can shoot the 3-ball. I love his height out there. So, I don't know, man. I think it's a winner because if it doesn't work out, it's like Rodney Hood, he's only on a $2 million contract. Larry Nance is on a 2-year deal for $1.47 million each season. That's pretty nice. Jordan Clarkson, while he's a little bit, you know, got a little bit of a bitch-ass contract, it's not that bad. I still think he'll be a nice little addition to this team. He'll bring some scoring and some 3-point shooting at least. George Hill, he does have a bitch-ass contract. I'm not sure I'm like a huge fan of the signing right here, but who knows, under the right system, maybe he'll bring some good defense to this team. All I do know is that, you know, George Hill actually is a good defending point guard anyway. All I do know, though, is Isaiah Thomas was not working out here. So what they do? Well, they cleaned house completely and got some new players. Who knows? Maybe LeBron James can carry these young bloods, and I guess in some cases old bloods, to an NBA championship, or at least, you know, maybe the NBA Finals. Do I think they're better than the Warriors? I really don't. I mean, I can't see how you could think this team is better than the Warriors. If you do, I'd definitely like to hear that in the comment section below. But overall, as far as the trade deadline goes, the Cavaliers needed to make moves. They did that. They are a winner in my book. Although I still would have liked them to see, you know, get DeAndre Jordan. But you must also keep in mind that they did not trade away that Brooklyn Nets draft pick. They still have that. So being able to change the roster, get some new guys out there without trading away that draft pick, that's big time if you ask me. Moving on. All right, next we have the Boston Celtics. And in my own humble opinion here, when it comes to the trade deadline, they are a loser in that aspect because they definitely needed to, they were definitely looking to get like a Tyreek Evans or a Lou Williams out there to really beef up their scoring off the bench. They were not able to do that, unfortunately. So in the sense of what their goal was going into a trade deadline, that would make them a loser in that case. Although I am a big fan of them signing Greg Monroe. That's a big time signing in my opinion, just because like he can bring you some offense out there. Like You look at the years past, this is a good offensive player, so I think he can actually bring that to this team. I would have liked to see them get something from Marcus Smart, because I don't think they are going to be resigning him next season, just because you do have Jaylen Brown out there, Jason Tatum, and they're going to have Gordon Hayward next season also. Not to mention Terry Rozier. He's a 10-point per game scorer this season himself. So, I mean, he's got some great, potential as that backup point guard. So yeah, it would have been nice to see them like get some sort of draft pick for Marcus Smart, just because while he is a good player, it's like offensively he's not all that gifted. Yes, he's getting 10 points, but only shooting 35% field goal percentage on the season. So it would have been nice to see them get swapped for like Tyreke Evans or a player like that. So that's just kind of unfortunate. Do I think this team is like going to be struggling now? No, I don't. I think they still have a lot of good options off their bench. Marcus Morris, another good scorer for them right now, 12 points per game. He's doing work out there too. So yes, it would have been nice to see them get another option, but at the same time, I think the team is still going to be fine. That's really all I got to say about the Boston Celtics. Next up, we have the Clippers. I think the Clippers are a loser in this trade deadline, guys. For one, they are stuck in mediocrity now because they signed Lou Williams to an extension. I don't know what that official extension was, or if 2K even has it updated. Okay, so it looks like it's not actually updated. If you guys can let me know what that contract was in the comment section below, that would be greatly appreciated. But yes, not so much Lou Williams. It's like, do I wish they could have got like a first-round draft pick or maybe even an early second round? That would have been nice, I suppose. Even a protected first would have been something decent out there for a team that doesn't really know if it's tanking or rebuilding or contending or going to try to contend. I really don't know the direction of this team. Not to mention DeAndre Jordan. He's probably like 100% gone after the season. I mean, the fact they couldn't even get that Cavaliers like first-round draft pick for him, that would have been nice to see. Rumors are is that there was a trade that was like almost went through between the Cavaliers and the Clippers. It did not end up happening. So yeah, this team pretty much stayed put out there. Avery Bradley, he's probably not coming back next season. I know a lot of people want to see this man on like the OKC Thunder or even the Golden State Warriors was interested. They probably could have got a first-round draft pick for him. But yeah, so I don't know the direction of this team. It's definitely not good. They definitely didn't make enough moves. And signing Lou Williams, in my own opinion, kind of questionable, but that's just my thoughts. All right, moving on. We have the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, loser in this case. Tyreke Evans, probably gone after the season. I mean, I don't see this team really paying him all that much money. He's going to want a pretty big contract. And for a team going into a rebuild, well, you really don't want to pay out a bitch-ass contract to a guy that's going to be 29 at that point. Marcus Gasol, I mean, yes, he's on a 2-year deal, but they could have got something for him to kind of speed up the rebuilding process. Just because this team does want to start tanking, you would think so, right? Like, they want to start tanking so they could try to get one of those top-notch lottery draft picks. Thing about this, though, is that Marcus Gasol is going to bring you W's. Like, he's going to get you he's at least good for a few W's on the season with this team. So he'll have those 30-point games every now and then, things like that. Mike Conley's out for the season, so not too much worry about that. It's just because, Marcus Gasol will probably be traded in the offseason. So it's like, what does it really accomplish by keeping him right now? Just because, you could have got that better draft pick, and it's like the team is going to be going into rebuild mode anyway. So the fact that they probably could have got at least one, maybe even 2 first-round draft picks with some sort of Marcus Gasol, Tyreke Evans trade is kind of unfortunate. But at the same time, I don't know, man. Maybe they think they can do some work out there. Their current record is 18-36, 12th in the Western Conference. So they definitely are not even sniffing the playoffs, as they are currently 10 games out from that. Another winner we have, Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, guys, the Lakers are definitely a winner when it comes to this right here. Just because, Isaiah Thomas, let's say worst case scenario doesn't work out with Isaiah, okay? You buy him out. $6 million, let him go back to the freaking Boston Celtics or something like that. Who knows? But at the same time, it's like they were able to trade away the contract of Jordan Clarkson, which was like $38 million. Larry Nance just didn't really fit on this team because they already have Julius Randle and Kyle Kuzma at power forward anyway. They also got a veteran presence and Channing Frye out here too. But really the big part of this trade is that, next offseason, they are going to probably have to renounce rights on Julius Randle's contract. Of course, they're not going to be able to bring back Isaiah Thomas and, probably Brook Lopez either. But what it does do is it allows this team to have enough money to really throw out 2 max contracts to NBA All-Stars / Superstars. That being LeBron James, Paul George, or maybe even like, I don't know, like a DeMarcus Cousins, and, a player like that. So, the Lakers, it's like, if I do remember correctly, they do not have a first-round draft pick for this draft. I think that it goes to the Philadelphia 76ers. It might be protected. I'm not quite sure about that. So yeah, this team, their big job was to kind of shed cap space out there. They don't really have to worry about tanking or anything because not having the draft pick. So Isaiah Thomas is still going to kind of like, fill up seats somewhat. Maybe it'll be some fun with him. Maybe he'll, I don't know, go back to scoring 30 points per game. I am kind of, the little L right here, just a little L, is that you don't really know how his attitude is going to affect a guy like Lonzo Ball, right? Just because, like, Lonzo Ball is the point guard, but Isaiah Thomas is like, yo, man, I ain't going on no bitch-ass bench. So that's something to think about. And the last winner I have is my Detroit Pistons. Yes, guys, I think my Pistons did a great job in this trade deadline. You know, you want to talk about Blake Griffin, who they're already 4-0 with at the making of this video, and 5-0 since, you know, their big trade anyway. It's like that was a big time signing right there. But also they did strengthen their bench a little bit here. I mean, they were able to sign James Ennis, who is like, he's not like a great small forward. I mean, you look at his stats, right? Let's pull him up here real quick and see what he's all about. I mean, what's he doing? 7 points this season, 4 rebounds, 1 assist per game, shooting about 36% from 3. Probably a limited minutes also. But what I do like about this is that it is going to kind of keep Stanley Johnson, you know, on alert, being like, yo, I have to play, or maybe this dude will eventually start over me. So they got him. They also got themselves Jameer Nelson, who's not like amazing anymore at all, but still a veteran point guard. So that's nice to see. And I guess they did get rid of Willie Reed, who I was a little bit disappointed that they got rid of, but at the same time, Eric Moreland's pretty solid on this team. And Willie Reed was kind of having some suspension issues anyway. I think he's currently serving a 5-game suspension from something that happened like when he was on a different team, or I think on the Clippers it was, some sort of allegation against him. I really don't know what it was. But yeah, man, those are my winners and losers of the NBA trade deadline. It's like, I'm sure there's some other teams out there, but these are the teams that I really think made like the big time moves. There might be another team that I'm probably forgetting about. If there is, let me know in the comment section below. Love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Keep in mind, these are just winners and losers, not everybody involved whatsoever. Anyway, my friends, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and peace out, my friends.